For 72 hours, I faked my own death during a Delta Force operation. The reason shocked everyone, including me. My name is George, retired Delta Force operator. What I'm about to tell you violates classified protocols, but some stories are too important to stay buried. Because sometimes, the only way to save lives is to convince everyone you're already dead, including the people who love you most. Afghanistan, 2019. October 3rd. Day 15 of what was supposed to be a 7-day intelligence gathering mission. We were tracking a high-value target through the mountains near Kandahar. Chemical weapons dealer. The kind of monster who sells death to whoever pays the highest price. But this wasn't just any arms dealer. This was Malik Hassan. And he had something that could kill 10,000 people in 10 minutes. Delta 1, this is command. My radio crackles at 0430 hours. Target has acquired nerve agent samples. Repeat, VX gas confirmed in hostile possession.
VX gas.
The stuff nightmares are made of. One drop on your skin, you're dead in 15 minutes. And Hassan had enough to contaminate the water supply for half of Kabul. I'm positioned on a ridge overlooking Hassan's compound, 800 meters out. Through my scope, I can see armed guards patrolling. At least 12 hostiles, all carrying automatic weapons. But here's what Command doesn't know yet. Hassan isn't just planning to sell the VX. He's planning to use it. Tomorrow, on a girls' school in downtown Kabul. 300 innocent children. Their only crime is wanting an education. Do you know what it feels like to hold that kind of responsibility? When you're the only person standing between a monster and mass murder. Sir, I've got eyes on multiple civilians in the compound, I report. Women and children. Looks like they're being held against their will. Command's response is immediate and cold. Mission parameters unchanged. Eliminate target and secure chemical weapons. Collateral damage is acceptable. Acceptable. They're talking about kids like they're statistics on a spreadsheet. Sir, request permission to attempt rescue of civilians before engaging primary target. Negative, Delta 1. Too much risk of operational compromise. Take the shot. Through my scope, I watch a little girl, maybe 6 years old, playing in the compound courtyard. She's got a small doll made of scraps of fabric. She reminds me of my daughter Emma. That's when everything changes. In the distance, I hear helicopters, multiple aircraft, coming in fast from 3 different directions, but they're not ours. Command, I've got incoming aircraft, 3 helicopters, unknown origin, ETA 2 minutes. Copy that. Maintain position and observe. Through my scope, I watch the helicopters land. Armed men pour out. But these aren't local militia. Their gear is too good. Their movements too coordinated. Foreign operatives. And they're here for the same thing we are. But they don't care about the civilians. I watch as they start herding the women and children into a storage building. They're not rescuing them. They're using them as human shields. Command, hostiles are consolidating civilian population. Request immediate authorization to intervene. Negative. Do not compromise position. Wait for further orders. Wait for orders while innocent people are about to be used as bargaining chips? That's when I hear explosions. Multiple detonations coming from the valley below. Not at Hassan's compound, at the village where my extraction team is positioned. Bravo team, report status. I radio to my backup unit. Silence. The explosions are getting closer. Systematic. Someone is taking out our entire support network. Command, I've lost contact with Bravo team. Explosions indicate possible compromise of extraction point. Delta 1, you are ordered to abort mission and move to secondary extraction point immediately. Secondary extraction point. 40 kilometers through hostile territory, with chemical weapons in enemy hands and 300 civilians about to be massacred. What would you do? Follow orders that guarantee innocent people die? Or trust your training and find another way? I make the hardest decision of my military career. Command, negative on abort order. I'm going in. Delta 1, that is a direct order. You are not authorized to engage. Sir, with all due respect, those children are going to die if someone doesn't act. Delta 1, you are relieved of command. Return to base immediately. Relieved of command. For trying to save innocent lives. That's when I realized something that changes everything. This mission was never about stopping Hassan. It was about letting him succeed. Someone wants those civilians dead. Someone wants Hassan to deploy chemical weapons. Because the political fallout would justify something. I don't know what. But I know those children don't deserve to die for someone else's agenda. So I do something that goes against 20 years of military training. I turn off my radio. What happens next, I do on my own authority. Not as a Delta Force operator following orders, as a human being who refuses to let children die. The approach to Hassan's compound takes 30 minutes. By the time I reach the perimeter, the situation has deteriorated. The foreign operatives have Hassan and the chemical weapons, but they're not leaving. They're setting up deployment equipment. They're actually going to do it. Release VX gas with 300 civilians in the blast radius, then blame it on Hassan and disappear. Through the compound windows, I see the children huddled together in the storage building, terrified, confused, trusting that somehow someone will save them. That someone is me, alone, against 12 armed hostiles with chemical weapons. But here's what those operatives don't know. Sometimes one person with nothing left to lose is more dangerous than an entire army. The first hostile goes down silently, combat knife between the ribs. Second and third hostiles are patrolling together, double-tap headshots. Clean and quiet. But the fourth one sees me coming, raises his rifle, shouts a warning. That's when everything goes loud. Automatic gunfire erupts from 3 different positions. I dive behind a concrete barrier as bullets tear through the air. The children in the storage building start screaming. "Unknown operative, you are surrounded," a voice calls out. "Surrender or we detonate chemical weapons immediately." They're using the VX as leverage, threatening to kill everyone if I don't give up. But I didn't come here to negotiate. I came here to win. The storage building where they're keeping the civilians has one entrance, heavily guarded. But the roof is old. If I can get above them. Moving across open ground under fire is like dancing with death. Every step could be your last. But those children are counting on me. I reach the building and climb onto the roof. Through a gap in the metal sheeting, I can see inside. 15 women, 27 children, all huddled in the corner, and 3 armed guards standing between them and freedom. I drop through the roof like death itself. First guard turns toward the sound. My bullet finds his chest before he can raise his weapon. Second guard fires wild. His rounds go wide over the civilians' heads. My second shot drops him instantly. Third guard grabs the little girl with the doll, uses her as a human shield, presses his sidearm against her head. "Drop your weapon or she dies." Time stops. I'm looking at a 6-year-old girl who just wants to go home to her family. Do you know what absolute focus feels like, when your entire world narrows to a single moment? I don't aim for his head. I don't aim for his chest. I aim for his wrist. The bullet severs the tendons in his gun hand. His grip fails. My second shot finds his heart. The little girl runs to her mother, still clutching her fabric doll. "Everyone out! Move toward the back wall! Stay low!" But as the civilians evacuate, I hear something that makes my stomach drop. Chemical alarms. Electronic beeping from the main building. The VX deployment system is activating. Someone triggered it remotely. I have maybe 90 seconds before enough nerve agent disperses to kill everyone in a 5-kilometer radius. The deployment device is in the main building, surrounded by the remaining hostiles, and the only way to stop it is to physically disconnect the dispenser. But as I run toward the main building, I see the civilians escaping into the hills, women carrying children, families reuniting. That's when I know. Whatever happens next, it was worth it. The main building is a fortress, multiple entry points, all covered by armed hostiles. When you're not worried about making it home, you can take risks that would normally be insane. The front entrance is a kill zone, so I go through the wall. Fragmentation grenade, controlled detonation. The explosion creates a hole big enough to dive through. Inside, chaos, smoke, shouting in multiple languages, automatic weapons fire from every direction. The VX dispenser is 60 feet away. Mechanical countdown showing 45 seconds. Between me and it, 6 armed hostiles in defensive positions. This is where 20 years of training compressed into pure instinct. First hostile positions behind overturned furniture. 2 rounds, center mass. He drops. Second and third hostiles fire from elevated positions. I roll behind concrete pillars, return fire, double tap each target. Fourth hostile throws a grenade. I kick it back before it detonates. The explosion takes him out. 30 seconds on the countdown. Fifth hostile has a clear shot at me, but he hesitates, probably wondering who I am. I don't hesitate. My shot finds his chest. 20 seconds. Sixth hostile is between me and the dispenser. Professional stance, good cover, but he's protecting a chemical weapon that will kill children. And I'm protecting those children. My shot hits him center mass. He drops. 15 seconds. I reach the VX dispenser. Electronic display counting down. Multiple wires. Complex shutdown sequence. 5 seconds. I don't try to decipher the shutdown sequence. I put 3 rounds into the electronic control panel. The countdown stops at 0003. For a moment, everything is quiet. Just the sound of my heartbeat and the distant voices of civilians reaching safety. Then reality hits. I'm alone, in enemy territory, with no backup, no extraction plan, no way home. My radio is destroyed. My extraction team is compromised. Command thinks I'm a rogue operative. I'm officially dead to the world. But those 300 civilians are alive, and that's what matters. What happens next is the longest 72 hours of my life. I can't contact command because they think I've gone rogue. I can't move during daylight because hostile forces are hunting me. So I do something that requires more courage than any firefight. I disappear. For 3 days, I let everyone believe I'm dead. My team, my commanders, my family. Because the only way to protect the truth is to become a ghost. I find shelter in a cave system 12 kilometers from the compound. No food except what I can scrounge. No water except what I can collect from rainfall. For 72 hours, I exist in a space between life and death. Officially KIA, personally, very much alive. But here's the part that nearly breaks me. On day 2, I intercept radio traffic from command. They're preparing to inform my family. Emma is going to wake up tomorrow and learn that Daddy isn't coming home. My wife Sarah is going to get a visit from men in dress uniforms who will hand her a folded flag. Do you know what it feels like to listen to your own death being processed? To hear administrative details about your memorial service while you're still breathing? It feels like drowning while everyone around you has already moved on. But I can't break cover, because if I reveal I'm alive, those operatives will know their mission failed. They'll try again. So I stay dead. On the morning of day 3, something changes. I intercept encrypted communications that confirm what I suspected. The VX deployment was authorized by someone inside our own government. A false flag operation designed to justify increased military presence. Those civilians were considered acceptable losses in a larger geopolitical game. But the planners didn't expect one soldier who refused to accept that innocent lives were expendable. 72 hours after the world thinks I died, I make contact with Joint Special Operations Command through back-channel communications. This is Delta One, requesting priority communication with General Morrison. Silence. Then, Delta One, you are listed as KIA. Please identify yourself. I'm the ghost who stopped 300 children from dying because someone thought their deaths would serve our national interests. Within 6 hours, I'm extracted by a team that doesn't officially exist, debriefed by officers whose names never appear in records. The official story. Delta Force operator George Miller died heroically stopping a chemical weapons attack. Posthumous Medal of Honor. The unofficial truth. Delta Force operator George Miller disobeyed direct orders to save innocent lives, uncovered a conspiracy, and spent 72 hours officially dead to protect the evidence. 6 months later, I'm quietly transferred to a desk job, early retirement with full honors. My family never learns the truth about those 3 days. As far as they know, I died and came back to life, which, in a way, I did. The conspiracy is quietly dismantled. The officials involved are reassigned. The evidence disappears into classified files. But 300 civilians in Afghanistan are alive today because one soldier decided that some orders deserve to be disobeyed. Do you know what courage really means? It's not following commands without question. Courage is looking at an order that would result in innocent deaths and saying no, even when saying no costs you everything you thought you were. Those 72 hours taught me something that 20 years of military service never could. Sometimes the most patriotic thing you can do is refuse to let your country become something it was never meant to be. My family thinks I'm a hero because I stopped a chemical weapons attack. The truth is simpler. I'm just someone who couldn't live with himself if he let children die for someone else's political agenda. Sometimes that's all it takes to change the world. One person who refuses to accept that evil is inevitable. The real question isn't whether you can follow orders when they align with your values. The real question is what you do when following orders means abandoning everything you believe about right and wrong.